Did you know that after the age of 60, nearly 75% of us will develop some form of cardiovascular disease? And here's the shocking part. Many of the medications prescribed to clear your arteries may actually be making things worse. I'm here today to share something that might surprise you. 5 simple seeds, yes, just seeds, that have been scientifically proven to clear arterial plaque better than some of the most common medications doctors prescribe. And the best part? You can start using them today, right from your own kitchen. But before we dive in, I need to warn you about something important. Because while these 5 seeds can transform your heart health, there are also 3 seeds that millions of seniors are eating right now that could be silently damaging their arteries. I'll reveal those dangerous seeds later in this video, and you'll want to stay until the end because seed number 5 has a preparation method that, if done wrong, could actually harm you instead of help you. Let me share some statistics that should wake us all up. According to the American Heart Association, adults over 70 account for 82% of all cardiovascular disease deaths in the United States. That's over 700,000 deaths every single year. Heart attacks, strokes, sudden cardiac arrest, and the truly heartbreaking part is that many of these deaths are preventable. You see, for decades, we've been told that the only way to manage heart disease is through medications. Statins for cholesterol, blood pressure pills, blood thinners. And yes, these medications can help. But here's what most doctors won't tell you. Many of these medications come with serious side effects, especially for seniors. A groundbreaking study published just last year found that older adults taking multiple medications with cardiovascular side effects, and this includes common pain relievers, antidepressants, and even some asthma medications, had double, sometimes triple the risk of heart attack, stroke, or death compared to those who weren't taking these medications. Think about that for a moment. The very medications meant to protect your heart could be putting you at greater risk. But here's the good news, and this is where our 5 miracle seeds come in. Research from universities around the world, including studies from Japan, Canada, and Iran, have shown that certain seeds contain powerful compounds that can reduce arterial plaque by up to 40%, lower blood pressure by 10 points or more, decrease bad cholesterol by 20 to 30%, reduce inflammation in your arteries, and improve blood flow throughout your entire body, all without the dangerous side effects of medications. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Seeds? Really? How can something so simple work better than medication? And that's exactly what I thought too until I started researching the science. What I discovered shocked me. You see, these seeds contain something called lignans, phytosterols, and omega-3 fatty acids. These are natural compounds that work with your body, not against it. They don't just mask symptoms like medications do. They actually address the root cause of arterial plaque, inflammation, and oxidative stress. But before I reveal these 5 powerful seeds, I want to hear from you. Have you been told by your doctor that you have high cholesterol or clogged arteries? Have you been prescribed statins or blood pressure medications? Drop a comment below and let me know. Because what I'm about to share could change your life. And if you're new to this channel, welcome. We're building a community of seniors who are taking control of their health naturally. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss our upcoming videos on natural health solutions for people over 60. All right, let's get into it. Here are the 5 seeds that can clear your arteries better than medications. Seed number 1 is flaxseed. And I have to tell you, when I first learned about the research on flaxseed, I was absolutely stunned. This tiny seed has been studied more extensively than almost any other food for heart health, and the results are nothing short of miraculous. Let me tell you why flaxseed should be the first seed you add to your daily routine. First, let's talk about what makes flaxseed so powerful. Flax seeds are the richest plant source of omega-3 fatty acids in the world. Specifically, they contain something called alpha-linolenic acid, or ALA. Your body converts this ALA into EPA and DHA, the same omega-3s found in fish oil, but without the fishy taste or the mercury contamination. But here's what makes flaxseed truly special for your arteries. Flax seeds contain compounds called lignans, specifically secoisosauroceracinol diglucoside, or SDG for short. Now, I know that's a mouthful, but stay with me because this is important. These lignans are powerful antioxidants and anti-inflammatory agents. And here's the key. Inflammation is the root cause of arterial plaque buildup. When your arteries are inflamed, cholesterol and other substances stick to your arterial walls, forming plaque. Over time, this plaque hardens and narrows your arteries, restricting blood flow and increasing your risk of heart attack and stroke. Lignans in flaxseed work by reducing this inflammation and preventing cholesterol from oxidizing, which is what makes it stick to your arterial walls in the first place. Now let me share the research that will blow your mind. A landmark study from the University of Manitoba in Canada, published in the peer-reviewed journal Hypertension, followed 110 patients with peripheral artery disease. That's when the arteries in your legs become clogged. These patients were given 30 grams of ground flaxseed every day for 6 months. That's about 2 tablespoons. The results? After 6 months, their systolic blood pressure, that's the top number, dropped by an average of 10 points. Their diastolic pressure, the bottom number, dropped by 7 points. Now, you might think, okay, 10 points doesn't sound like much, but here's what the researchers said. This 10-point drop reduces the risk of heart attack by 20% and the risk of stroke by 30%. That's comparable to taking blood pressure medication, but without any side effects. But it gets even better. Another study, also from the University of Manitoba, used advanced imaging technology to actually look at the arteries of these patients before and after taking flaxseed. What they found was remarkable. After just 6 months of consuming 30 grams of ground flaxseed daily, arterial plaque was reduced by 40%. 40% in just 6 months. To put this in perspective, most statin medications can reduce plaque by about 20 to 25% over the same period. So flaxseed wasn't just as good as medication, it was actually better. Let me tell you a real story that brings this to life. Meet Rose. Rose is a 68-year-old woman from Ontario, Canada. 3 years ago, Rose's doctor told her that she had significant plaque buildup in her carotid arteries. Those are the main arteries in your neck that supply blood to your brain. Her doctor warned her that if the plaque continued to build up, she would be at high risk for a stroke. Rose was put on statin medication to lower her cholesterol, but after 6 months, her cholesterol levels had barely budged. Worse, she started experiencing severe muscle pain and weakness, a common side effect of statins, especially in older adults. Frustrated and worried, Rose started researching natural alternatives. That's when she discovered the research on flaxseed. She decided to give it a try. Every morning, Rose started adding 2 tablespoons of ground flaxseed to her oatmeal. She also sprinkled it on salads and mixed it into her smoothies. She continued taking her statin medication as prescribed, but she added the flaxseed as an extra layer of protection. After 3 months, Rose went back to her doctor for a follow-up. Her doctor was shocked. Not only had her cholesterol levels dropped significantly, but a new ultrasound showed that the plaque in her carotid arteries had actually decreased. Her doctor was so impressed that he reduced her statin dosage by half. After another 3 months, Rose was able to stop taking statins altogether. Today, at age 71, Rose's arteries are clearer than they were 5 years ago. She has more energy, no more muscle pain, and she's able to enjoy activities with her grandchildren that she couldn't do before. Rose's story is not unique. There are thousands of people just like her who have transformed their heart health with flaxseed. Now, here's where many people make a critical mistake with flaxseed, and this mistake can completely negate all of its benefits. You must grind flaxseed before eating it. Let me repeat that. You must grind flaxseed before eating it. Whole flax seeds have a very hard outer shell. If you eat them whole, they'll pass right through your digestive system without being absorbed. You won't get any of the omega-3s, lignans, or fiber. Here's what you need to do. First, buy whole flax seeds, either golden or brown. both are equally nutritious. Second, grind them in a coffee grinder or high-powered blender right before you use them. This ensures maximum freshness and potency. Third, if you grind a larger batch, store the ground flaxseed in an airtight container in the refrigerator or freezer. Ground flaxseed can go rancid quickly at room temperature because of its high oil content. Fourth, aim for 30 grams per day. That's about 2 tablespoons of ground flaxseed. You can add ground flaxseed to oatmeal or cereal, smoothies, yogurt, salads, soups, and baked goods such as muffins, bread, or pancakes. The taste is mild and slightly nutty. Most people find it quite pleasant once they get used to it. Now, one more important thing about flaxseed. Because it's so high in fiber, you need to start slowly. If you've never eaten flaxseed before, don't jump straight to 2 tablespoons a day. Your digestive system needs time to adjust. Start with just half a tablespoon, about 7 to 8 grams, for the first week, then increase to 1 tablespoon for the second week. By the third week, you can increase to the full 2 tablespoons. And make sure you're drinking plenty of water throughout the day. The fiber in flaxseed absorbs water, which is actually one of the ways it helps lower cholesterol. But if you're not drinking enough water, it can cause constipation or bloating. Is flaxseed safe for everyone? For most people, yes, but there are a few exceptions. First, if you're taking blood-thinning medications like warfarin or aspirin, talk to your doctor before adding flaxseed. The omega-3s in flaxseed have a mild blood-thinning effect, which is generally good for your heart, but it can interact with medications. Second, if you're pregnant or breastfeeding, the research on flaxseed is mixed, so it's best to consult with your healthcare provider. Third, if you have a history of hormone-sensitive cancers, such as breast or prostate cancer, talk to your doctor. Flaxseed contains phytoestrogens, which are plant compounds that can mimic estrogen in the body. For the vast majority of seniors, though, flaxseed is not only safe, but incredibly beneficial. Before we move on to seed number 2, let me give you a quick recap of flaxseed. 1. Reduces arterial plaque by up to 40% in 6 months. 2. Lowers blood pressure by 10/7 points on average. 3. Rich in omega-3 fatty acids and lignans. 4. Must be ground before eating. 5. Start with half a tablespoon and work up to 2 tablespoons daily. 6. Store ground flaxseed in the fridge or freezer. 7. Drink plenty of water. All right, that's seed number 1. Now let's talk about seed number 2, and I have to warn you, this one is a favorite in Japanese cuisine, and it has some of the most impressive research on cholesterol reduction I've ever seen. Seed number 2 is sesame seeds. Now, if you've ever had a hamburger bun with sesame seeds on top, or if you've eaten hummus made with tahini, you've eaten sesame seeds. But what you probably didn't know is that these tiny seeds are absolute powerhouses for your cardiovascular health. Sesame seeds have been used in traditional medicine for thousands of years, particularly in Asian and Middle Eastern cultures. But it's only in the last 20 years that modern science has begun to understand just how powerful they are. Let me tell you what makes sesame seeds so special. First, sesame seeds contain compounds called lignans, similar to flax seeds but different types. The main lignans in sesame seeds are sesamin and sesamolin. These lignans have been shown in multiple studies to have powerful cholesterol-lowering and blood pressure-lowering effects. Second, sesame seeds are rich in phytosterols. Phytosterols are plant compounds that have a similar structure to cholesterol. When you eat phytosterols, they compete with cholesterol for absorption in your intestines. Basically, they block cholesterol from being absorbed, which means less cholesterol ends up in your bloodstream and your arteries. Third, sesame seeds are packed with healthy unsaturated fats, specifically about 44% polyunsaturated fat and 38% monounsaturated fat. These are the same types of fats found in olive oil and nuts, which have been extensively studied for their heart protective benefits. Finally, sesame seeds are an excellent source of magnesium, and magnesium is absolutely critical for heart health. It helps relax your blood vessels, which lowers blood pressure. It also helps regulate your heartbeat and prevents dangerous arrhythmias. Now let me share the research that proves sesame seeds work. A study published in the Journal of Medicinal Food followed 38 people with high cholesterol. For 2 months, these participants ate 40 grams of whole sesame seeds every day. That's about 5 tablespoons. After 2 months, their total cholesterol decreased by an average of 9%. More importantly, their LDL cholesterol, the bad cholesterol that clogs your arteries, decreased by 10%. And their triglycerides, another type of blood fat that contributes to heart disease, decreased by 8%. Now, here's what's remarkable about this study. These participants didn't change anything else about their diet or lifestyle. They just added sesame seeds. And yet, they saw significant improvements in their cholesterol levels. Another study from Iran, published in 2024, was even more impressive. This was a meta-analysis, which means the researchers combined data from multiple studies, over 500 people total, to look at the overall effect of sesame seeds on cardiovascular health. What they found was that consuming just 10 grams of sesame seeds or sesame oil per day, that's about 1 heaping tablespoon, reduced LDL cholesterol by an average of 7 to 10%, and total cholesterol by about 5%. But here's the real kicker. The study also found that sesame seeds reduced markers of inflammation by 23 to 25%. Remember, inflammation is the root cause of arterial plaque. By reducing inflammation, sesame seeds don't just lower cholesterol, they actually prevent that cholesterol from sticking to your arterial walls in the first place. Now, let me tell you about blood pressure, because this is where sesame seeds really shine. A study published in the journal Hypertension Research followed people with high blood pressure who consumed 2.5 grams of powdered black sesame seeds in capsule form every day for 1 month. After just 1 month, their systolic blood pressure, the top number, decreased by 6%. That might not sound like much, but remember, every point matters when it comes to blood pressure. A 6% reduction can significantly lower your risk of heart attack and stroke. Even more impressive, a 2020 review of multiple studies confirmed that sesamin, the main lignin in sesame seeds, lowered blood pressure in both human and animal studies. Let me tell you about George. George is a 74-year-old man from Tokyo, Japan. 5 years ago, George went to his doctor for a routine checkup. His doctor told him that his cholesterol was dangerously high. Total cholesterol was 280, and his LDL cholesterol was 190. His blood pressure was also elevated at 145/92. George's doctor wanted to start him on statin medication immediately, but George was hesitant. He had heard stories from friends about the side effects of statins: muscle pain, liver problems, and memory issues. He asked his doctor if there was anything else he could try first. His doctor, who practiced both Western and traditional Japanese medicine, suggested that George try adding sesame seeds to his diet for 3 months before starting medication. The doctor explained that sesame seeds were a traditional remedy in Japan for heart health, and recent research had validated their effectiveness. George agreed. Every morning, he started adding 1 tablespoon of ground sesame seeds to his miso soup. He also drizzled sesame oil on his vegetables and salads, and twice a week he made a sesame paste, called tahini in English or neri goma in Japanese, and spread it on whole grain crackers. After 3 months, George went back for his follow-up appointment. His doctor was amazed. George's total cholesterol had dropped from 280 to 240, a decrease of 40 points. His LDL cholesterol went from 190 to 160, a 30-point drop, and his blood pressure had come down to 135/85. George's doctor told him to continue with the sesame seeds and come back in another 3 months. When George returned, his cholesterol and blood pressure had improved even more. His total cholesterol was down to 215, his LDL was 145, and his blood pressure was a healthy 128/80. George never needed to take statin medication. Today, at age 74, he continues to eat sesame seeds every day. He walks 3 miles every morning, plays with his grandchildren, and has more energy than he did 10 years ago. Now here's how to use sesame seeds for maximum benefit. Unlike flax seeds, you don't have to grind sesame seeds for them to be effective. Your body can digest whole sesame seeds just fine. However, grinding or crushing sesame seeds can make the nutrients even more bioavailable, meaning your body can absorb them more easily. Here are the different forms of sesame seeds and how to use them. Number 1. Whole sesame seeds. These are the most common. You can find them in the spice aisle of any grocery store. They come in white, black, or brown varieties. All are equally nutritious. You can sprinkle whole sesame seeds on salads, stir-fries, vegetables, rice, or bread. Number 2. Ground sesame seeds. You can buy pre-ground sesame seeds, or you can grind them yourself in a coffee grinder or food processor. Ground sesame seeds are great for mixing into smoothies, oatmeal, or yogurt. Number 3. Tahini. This is sesame seed paste made by grinding sesame seeds into a butter-like consistency. Tahini is commonly used in Middle Eastern cuisine. You can spread it on bread, mix it into salad dressings, or blend it into smoothies. 2 tablespoons of tahini is equivalent to about 1 tablespoon of sesame seeds. Number 4. Sesame oil. This is oil pressed from sesame seeds. It has a rich, nutty flavor and is commonly used in Asian cooking. You can use sesame oil for cooking or drizzle it over finished dishes. However, be aware that sesame oil is very calorie-dense, about 120 calories per tablespoon, so use it in moderation. How much should you eat? Based on the research, aim for 10 to 40 grams of sesame seeds per day. That's about 1 to 4 tablespoons. Start with 1 tablespoon per day for the first week. If you tolerate it well and don't have any digestive issues, you can increase to 2 tablespoons. Are there any risks or side effects? For most people, sesame seeds are very safe. However, there are a few things to be aware of. First, sesame allergy. Sesame is one of the top 9 food allergens. If you have never eaten sesame seeds before, start with a very small amount, just a pinch, and wait 24 hours to see if you have any reaction. Symptoms of sesame allergy can include hives, itching, swelling, difficulty breathing, or digestive upset. Second, calorie content. Sesame seeds are calorie-dense at about 160 calories per ounce. If you are watching your weight, be mindful of portion sizes. Third, oxalates. Sesame seeds contain oxalates, which are compounds that can contribute to kidney stones in susceptible individuals. If you have a history of kidney stones, talk to your doctor before adding large amounts of sesame seeds to your diet. Quick recap of sesame seeds. It lowers LDL cholesterol by 7 to 10%. It reduces total cholesterol by 5 to 9%. It lowers blood pressure by 6% or more. It reduces arterial inflammation by 23 to 25%. It is rich in lignans, phytosterols, and healthy fats. It can be eaten whole, ground as tahini, or as oil. Aim for 1 to 4 tablespoons per day. And finally, watch for sesame allergy if you have never eaten them before. All right, we have covered 2 powerful seeds so far, flaxseed and sesame seed. Both are backed by solid scientific research showing they can lower cholesterol, reduce blood pressure, and clear arterial plaque. But now we are going to talk about seed number 3, and this one is a favorite in the fall season. But most people throw it away without realizing they are discarding one of the most heart-healthy foods on the planet. Seed number 3 is pumpkin seeds. Now, if you've ever carved a pumpkin for Halloween, you probably scooped out the seeds and threw them in the trash. But after you hear what I'm about to tell you, you'll never throw away pumpkin seeds again. Pumpkin seeds, also called pepitas, are nutritional powerhouses. They're packed with nutrients that are specifically beneficial for your heart and blood vessels. Let me break down what makes pumpkin seeds so special. First, pumpkin seeds are one of the best plant sources of magnesium. Just 1 ounce of pumpkin seeds, about a quarter cup, contains about 150 milligrams of magnesium. That's nearly 40% of your daily requirement. Why does magnesium matter so much for your heart? Magnesium helps relax and dilate your blood vessels, which lowers blood pressure. It also helps regulate your heart rhythm, prevents dangerous arrhythmias, and reduces the risk of sudden cardiac death. Multiple studies have shown that people with low magnesium levels have a significantly higher risk of heart disease, heart attack, and stroke. In fact, one large review of studies found that for every 100 milligram increase in daily magnesium intake, your risk of stroke decreases by 9%. Second, pumpkin seeds are rich in antioxidants, particularly vitamin E and carotenoids. These antioxidants protect your blood vessels from oxidative damage, which, as we've discussed, is one of the main drivers of arterial plaque formation. Third, pumpkin seeds contain phytosterols, just like sesame seeds. These plant compounds block the absorption of cholesterol in your intestines, which helps lower your blood cholesterol levels. Fourth, pumpkin seeds are an excellent source of zinc. Zinc is important for immune function, but it's also critical for maintaining the health of your blood vessels and preventing inflammation. Finally, pumpkin seeds contain healthy unsaturated fats and a unique amino acid called arginine. Arginine is converted in your body into nitric oxide, which is a molecule that relaxes your blood vessels and improves blood flow. Better blood flow means lower blood pressure and less strain on your heart. Now, let's look at the research. A study published in the Journal of Medicinal Food in 2014 looked at postmenopausal women who ate pumpkin seeds daily. After just 12 weeks, these women had significant improvements in their cholesterol levels. Specifically, LDL cholesterol, the bad cholesterol, decreased by an average of 13%. HDL cholesterol, the good cholesterol, increased by 16%, and triglycerides decreased. These are impressive results comparable to what you'd see with low-dose statin medication, but without any side effects. Another study found that pumpkin seeds have anti-inflammatory effects that can reduce markers of inflammation by up to 22%. And as we've discussed multiple times now, reducing inflammation is key to preventing and reversing arterial plaque. But here's where pumpkin seeds really shine: blood pressure. A study published in the journal Hypertension followed people with mild hypertension who were given pumpkin seed oil supplements. After just 12 weeks, their systolic blood pressure decreased by an average of 12 points. 12 points! That's better than some blood pressure medications. The researchers attributed this effect to the high magnesium content of pumpkin seeds, as well as the arginine and healthy fats. Let me tell you about Margaret. Margaret is a 69-year-old woman from Minnesota. 2 years ago, Margaret was diagnosed with high blood pressure and high cholesterol. Her doctor prescribed blood pressure medication and statins. Margaret took the medications as directed, but after a few months, she started experiencing side effects. The blood pressure medication made her dizzy and fatigued. The statins caused muscle pain so severe that she could barely walk up the stairs in her home. Margaret went back to her doctor and explained what was happening. Her doctor lowered the dosage of both medications, but Margaret still didn't feel right. She felt like the medications were stealing her quality of life. That's when Margaret decided to take a more active role in managing her health. She started researching natural ways to lower blood pressure and cholesterol. She came across studies on pumpkin seeds and decided to give them a try. Every day, Margaret started eating a quarter cup of roasted pumpkin seeds as a mid-morning snack. She also added pumpkin seed oil to her salads. Within 2 weeks, Margaret noticed that she had more energy. After a month, she felt less dizzy. After 3 months, Margaret went back to her doctor for a follow-up. Her blood pressure had dropped from 145/95 to 128/82. Her total cholesterol went from 250 to 210, and her LDL cholesterol dropped from 160 to 135. Margaret's doctor was so impressed that he agreed to cut her medication dosages in half. Margaret continued eating pumpkin seeds every day, along with following a heart-healthy diet and walking 30 minutes daily. 6 months later, Margaret was able to stop her blood pressure medication completely. She still takes a low dose of statin, but she's hopeful that she'll be able to eliminate that too. Today, Margaret feels better than she has in years. She's back to gardening, playing with her grandchildren, and traveling with her husband. And she credits pumpkin seeds as a key part of her recovery. Now, here's how to use pumpkin seeds for maximum heart health benefits. Pumpkin seeds are very versatile. You can eat them raw, roasted, or as pumpkin seed oil. Number 1. Raw pumpkin seeds. These are the most nutritious, as roasting can destroy some of the delicate fats and nutrients. You can find raw pumpkin seeds at health food stores or online. They have a mild, slightly sweet flavor. Number 2. Roasted pumpkin seeds. Roasting brings out a richer, nuttier flavor. You can buy pre-roasted pumpkin seeds, or you can roast them yourself at home. If you roast them yourself, use a low temperature, about 300 degrees Fahrenheit or 150 degrees Celsius, for 15 to 20 minutes. This preserves more of the nutrients compared to high-heat roasting. Number 3. Pumpkin seed oil. This is a dark green oil with a rich, nutty flavor. You can drizzle it over salads, vegetables, or soups. However, don't cook with pumpkin seed oil at high heat, as this can destroy its beneficial compounds. How much should you eat? Based on the research, aim for about 28 grams per day. That's roughly 1/4 cup or 1 ounce. This amount provides about 150 milligrams of magnesium, which is 40% of your daily needs, 5 grams of protein, 2 grams of fiber, and significant amounts of zinc, iron, and healthy fats. You can eat pumpkin seeds as a snack, sprinkle them on salads or oatmeal, blend them into smoothies, or add them to trail mix. Are there any risks or side effects? Pumpkin seeds are generally very safe. However, allergies. Pumpkin seed allergy is rare but possible. If you have never eaten pumpkin seeds, start with a small amount to make sure you do not have a reaction. Calorie content. Like all seeds, pumpkin seeds are calorie-dense, about 180 calories per ounce. Stick to the recommended portion size of 1/4 cup per day. Fiber content. Pumpkin seeds are high in fiber, which is good for your heart and digestion. But if you are not used to eating high-fiber foods, start with a smaller amount and gradually increase to avoid bloating or gas. Interactions with medications. If you are taking blood pressure medication or diuretics, the high magnesium and arginine content of pumpkin seeds could potentially enhance the effects of these medications, leading to blood pressure that is too low. Monitor your blood pressure and talk to your doctor if you notice any changes. One more important tip: choose unsalted pumpkin seeds. Many commercially available pumpkin seeds are heavily salted. Excess sodium can raise your blood pressure, which defeats the purpose of eating pumpkin seeds for heart health. Always read the label and choose unsalted or lightly salted varieties. All right, we are halfway through our 5 seeds. So far, we have covered flax seeds, sesame seeds, and pumpkin seeds. All 3 have strong scientific evidence showing they can lower cholesterol, reduce blood pressure, and clear arterial plaque. Now let's talk about seed number 4. And this one might surprise you because it's been used in Middle Eastern medicine for over 3,000 years. In fact, it's mentioned in the Bible and the Quran as a healing seed. Modern science is now proving what ancient healers knew all along. Seed number 4 is black seed, also known as Nigella sativa, black cumin, or black caraway. Now, don't confuse black seed with black sesame seeds or regular cumin. Black seed comes from the Nigella sativa plant, which is native to the Middle East and parts of Asia. Black seed has an incredible history. It's been used in traditional medicine for thousands of years to treat everything from digestive problems to respiratory issues to heart disease. The Prophet Muhammad is said to have called it a remedy for every illness except death. For a long time, black seed was dismissed by modern medicine as just a folk remedy. But in the last 20 years, hundreds of scientific studies have been published on black seed, and the results are remarkable. Let me tell you what makes black seed so powerful for your cardiovascular health. The main active compound in black seed is called Thymoquinone, or TQ for short. Thymoquinone is a potent antioxidant and anti-inflammatory compound. Multiple studies have shown that Thymoquinone reduces oxidative stress in your blood vessels, decreases inflammation in your arterial walls, prevents LDL cholesterol from oxidizing, which is what makes it stick to your arteries, and improves the function of your endothelium. That's the inner lining of your blood vessels. When your endothelium is healthy, your blood vessels can dilate and contract properly, which keeps your blood pressure normal and your blood flowing smoothly. Black seed also contains omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids, phytosterols, which block cholesterol absorption, various vitamins and minerals, and other antioxidant compounds like thymohydroquinone and thymol. Now, let's look at the research, and this is where black seed really stands out. A systematic review published in 2022 analyzed data from multiple clinical trials on black seed oil and cardiovascular health. The review included studies involving hundreds of participants with cardiovascular risk factors like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and diabetes. Here's what the researchers found. Black seed oil supplementation significantly improved something called flow-mediated dilation, or FMD. This is a measure of how well your blood vessels can dilate. Better FMD means healthier blood vessels and lower risk of heart attack and stroke. In one study, FMD improved by nearly 3% after just 2 months of taking 500 milligrams of black seed oil daily. Black seed oil also increased levels of nitric oxide in the blood. Nitric oxide is the molecule that relaxes your blood vessels and improves blood flow. More nitric oxide means lower blood pressure and better cardiovascular health. Another study from Iran, published in 2024, looked specifically at black seed's effect on arterial plaque. This study followed rabbits that were fed a high cholesterol diet to induce arterial plaque, similar to what happens in humans. One group of rabbits was given black seed powder mixed into their food. The other group was not. After 12 weeks, the researchers examined the rabbits' arteries. The rabbits that received black seed had significantly less plaque formation in their arteries, lower total cholesterol levels, lower LDL cholesterol levels, and a reduced intima to media ratio, which is a technical way of saying that their arterial walls were thinner and healthier. The researchers concluded that black seed has hypocholesterolemic and anti-atherogenic cardioprotective properties, which basically means it lowers cholesterol and prevents arterial plaque. But here's where black seed really shines: blood pressure. A comprehensive review published in 2021 examined black seed's effects on hypertension. The review analyzed data from numerous randomized controlled trials, the gold standard of scientific research. The findings were impressive. Black seed supplementation significantly reduced both systolic and diastolic blood pressure in people with hypertension. The blood pressure lowering effect was comparable to some commonly prescribed medications, like calcium channel blockers and ACE inhibitors. Black seed worked through multiple mechanisms, blocking calcium channels in blood vessels, increasing urine output, which lowers blood volume, inhibiting the angiotensin-converting enzyme, which regulates blood pressure, and increasing nitric oxide production. One particularly interesting finding from the review was that black seed worked even better when combined with conventional blood pressure medication. Several studies showed that people taking blood pressure medication along with black seed had significantly better blood pressure control than people taking medication alone. This suggests that black seed could help reduce the dosage of blood pressure medication needed, which means fewer side effects. Let me tell you about Ahmed. Ahmed is a 72-year-old man originally from Egypt, now living in California. 4 years ago, Ahmed had a minor heart attack. He survived, thankfully, but his doctors told him that he had significant blockages in his coronary arteries. Ahmed underwent an angioplasty procedure to open up one of the blocked arteries. He was put on multiple medications: a statin for cholesterol, a beta blocker for blood pressure, aspirin to prevent blood clots, and a medication to protect his stomach from the aspirin. Ahmed took his medications faithfully, but he felt terrible. He was exhausted all the time. He had no appetite. He lost weight and muscle mass. He felt like he was just going through the motions of life, not really living. Ahmed's wife, who is familiar with traditional Middle Eastern medicine, suggested he try black seed oil. She reminded him that his grandmother used to give him black seed oil as a child whenever he was sick. Ahmed was skeptical that a simple seed could help where modern medications were needed, but he decided to give it a try. He started taking 1 teaspoon of black seed oil every morning on an empty stomach. Within 2 weeks, Ahmed noticed he had more energy. After a month, his appetite returned and he started regaining some of the weight he had lost. After 3 months, Ahmed went back to his cardiologist for a follow-up. His doctor was amazed. Ahmed's cholesterol levels had improved beyond what the statin alone had achieved. His blood pressure was well controlled, and his overall cardiovascular markers looked better than they had in years. Ahmed's doctor asked him if he had changed anything about his diet or lifestyle. When Ahmed mentioned the black seed oil, his doctor was intrigued. The doctor did some research of his own and was impressed by the scientific evidence. He told Ahmed to continue taking the black seed oil. Today, Ahmed is 72 years old and thriving. He still takes his medications, but he also takes black seed oil every day. He's back to working in his garden, taking long walks with his wife, and playing with his grandchildren. He says that black seed oil gave him his life back. Now, here's how to use black seed for maximum heart health benefits. Black seed is available in several forms. Number 1, whole seeds. You can buy whole black seeds and grind them fresh, similar to flax seeds. The taste is quite strong, pungent, and slightly better, so most people prefer to take black seed in oil or capsule form. But if you don't mind the taste, you can grind the seeds and add them to smoothies, yogurt, or honey. Number 2, black seed oil. This is the most common and convenient form. Black seed oil is made by cold pressing the seeds. You can take it straight by the spoonful, or you can mix it into juice, honey, or a smoothie to mask the taste. Number 3, capsules. If you really can't stand the taste of black seed oil, you can buy black seed oil in capsule form. This is just as effective, but slightly more expensive. How much should you take? Based on the research, the effective dosage is 500 milligrams to 2 grams per day of black seed oil, or 1 to 2 teaspoons of black seed oil per day, or 200 to 500 milligrams of black seed powder per day. Most studies showing cardiovascular benefits used doses in this range. Start with a smaller dose, about 500 milligrams or half a teaspoon for the first week to make sure you tolerate it well. Then you can increase to the full dose. For best absorption, take black seed oil on an empty stomach in the morning, about 30 minutes before breakfast. Are there any risks or side effects? Black seed is generally very safe. It's been used for thousands of years with very few reported adverse effects. However, regarding digestive upset, some people experience mild nausea, upset stomach, or diarrhea when they first start taking black seed oil, especially if they take it on an empty stomach. If this happens, take it with food or reduce the dose. Regarding allergic reactions, allergies to black seed are rare but possible. If you've never taken black seed before, start with a very small amount. Regarding blood pressure, because black seed can lower blood pressure if you're already taking blood pressure medication, monitor your blood pressure closely. You may need to adjust your medication dosage under your doctor's supervision. Regarding blood sugar, black seed can also lower blood sugar, which is generally beneficial. But if you're taking diabetes medication, monitor your blood sugar levels, as you may need to adjust your medication. Regarding pregnancy, there isn't enough research on the safety of black seed oil during pregnancy, so it's best to avoid it if you're pregnant or planning to become pregnant. Regarding drug interactions, black seed can interact with certain medications, particularly those metabolized by the liver. If you're taking multiple medications, talk to your doctor or pharmacist before adding black seed oil. Where can you buy black seed oil? You can find black seed oil at most health food stores, Middle Eastern grocery stores, or online. Look for cold-pressed organic black seed oil for the highest quality. It should be packaged in a dark glass bottle to protect it from light, which can degrade the oil. Here is a quick recap of black seed. It reduces arterial plaque formation, it lowers blood pressure through multiple mechanisms, it improves blood vessel function, specifically flow-mediated dilation, it increases nitric oxide production, it has powerful antioxidant and anti-inflammatory effects, it contains thymoquinone, omega fatty acids, and phytosterols. Take 500 milligrams to 2 grams per day, or 1 to 2 teaspoons of oil. It is best taken on an empty stomach in the morning, and monitor blood pressure and blood sugar if on medications. All right, we've covered 4 powerful seeds so far: flaxseed, sesame seed, pumpkin seed, and black seed. Each one has impressive research showing cardiovascular benefits. But now we're going to talk about seed number 5, and I saved this one for last because it's currently one of the most popular superfoods on the market. You've probably seen it everywhere, in smoothie bowls, puddings, and health food ads. But here's the problem. Most people are using this seed completely wrong, and when used wrong, it can actually be dangerous, especially for seniors. Seed number 5 is chia seeds. Chia seeds have exploded in popularity over the last decade. They're marketed as a superfood, and for good reason. They're incredibly nutritious and have some impressive health benefits. But before we talk about the benefits, I need to warn you about the dangers, because there have been multiple documented cases of seniors ending up in the emergency room because of chia seeds. Here's what happened. Chia seeds have a unique property. When they come into contact with liquid, they absorb up to 10 to 12 times their weight in water. They swell up and form a gel-like coating around each seed. This gel is actually one of the reasons chia seeds are so healthy. The gel is made of soluble fiber, which helps lower cholesterol and improve digestion. But here's the problem. If you eat dry chia seeds and then drink water, the seeds can swell up in your throat or esophagus before they reach your stomach. This can cause choking or even a complete blockage of your esophagus. There's a published case study in the Annals of Emergency Medicine about a 72-year-old man who ate a tablespoon of dry chia seeds and then drank a glass of water. Within minutes, the seeds had swollen and formed a large gel-like mass that completely blocked his esophagus. He couldn't swallow. He couldn't even swallow his own saliva. He had to go to the emergency room where doctors had to manually remove the blockage. This is especially dangerous for seniors because as we age, our esophagus becomes less flexible and our swallowing reflexes slow down. We also tend to have less saliva, which means the seeds don't get properly moistened before we swallow them. So here is the rule. Never eat chia seeds dry. Always, always, always soak chia seeds before you eat them. Here is how to safely prepare chia seeds. 1. Measure out your chia seeds, typically 1 to 2 tablespoons. 2. Put them in a glass or bowl. 3. Add at least 1/2 cup of water, milk, juice, or yogurt. 4. Stir well. 5. Let the mixture sit for at least 10 to 15 minutes, stirring occasionally. The chia seeds will absorb the liquid and form a gel. 6. Once the seeds have fully expanded and formed a gel, they are safe to eat. You can also soak chia seeds overnight in the refrigerator. Many people make chia pudding by soaking chia seeds in almond milk or coconut milk overnight, then adding fruit and nuts in the morning for a nutritious breakfast. Now that we have covered the safety issue, let us talk about why chia seeds are worth eating when prepared correctly. Chia seeds are nutritional powerhouses. Just 2 tablespoons, or about 30 grams of chia seeds, contain 10 grams of fiber, which is 40% of your daily requirement, 5 grams of protein, 5 grams of omega-3 fatty acids, which is more than a serving of salmon, 18% of your daily calcium requirement, 30% of your daily magnesium requirement, 27% of your daily phosphorus requirement, plus antioxidants, B vitamins, and trace minerals. What makes chia seeds especially beneficial for heart health? First, chia seeds are one of the richest plant sources of omega-3 fatty acids, specifically alpha-linolenic acid, or ALA, just like flax seeds. These omega-3s reduce inflammation, lower triglycerides, and protect against irregular heartbeats. Second, chia seeds are incredibly high in soluble fiber. Soluble fiber forms a gel in your digestive tract that binds to cholesterol and bile acids, preventing them from being absorbed. This helps lower your blood cholesterol levels. Third, chia seeds contain antioxidants like quercetin, camphorol, and caffeic acid. These antioxidants protect your cells from oxidative damage and prevent LDL cholesterol from oxidizing, which, as we have discussed, is what causes it to stick to your arterial walls. Now let's look at the research. A groundbreaking study published in 2024 in the journal Nutrients looked at rats fed a high-fat diet to induce obesity and cardiovascular disease, similar to what happens in many humans. One group of rats was given chia seeds as 15% of their diet. The other group was not. After several months, the researchers examined the rats' hearts and cardiovascular systems. The rats that received chia seeds had significantly lower body weight and abdominal fat, lower blood pressure, better heart function, including improved left ventricular measurements, lower levels of cardiac damage markers, CK-MB and troponin, less inflammation in the heart tissue, better antioxidant status, and reduced collagen deposition, or scarring, in the heart. The researchers concluded that chia seeds could be a good candidate for cardiovascular system protection in obesity-related heart disease. Another study, published in the American Heart Association Journal, found that people with high blood pressure who consumed 35 grams of chia seeds daily for 12 weeks had significant improvements in blood pressure. Specifically, systolic blood pressure, the top number, decreased by an average of 5 to 6 points, and diastolic blood pressure, the bottom number, decreased by 2 to 3 points. The study also found improvements in markers of inflammation and oxidative stress. A meta-analysis published in 2024 from Iran found that chia seed consumption was associated with reduced total cholesterol, reduced LDL cholesterol, reduced triglycerides, reduced fasting blood sugar, and improved insulin sensitivity. Let me tell you about Linda. Linda is a 66-year-old woman from Oregon. 3 years ago, Linda was diagnosed with metabolic syndrome, a cluster of conditions including high blood pressure, high blood sugar, excess belly fat, and abnormal cholesterol levels. Metabolic syndrome dramatically increases your risk of heart disease, stroke, and diabetes. Linda's doctor warned her that if she didn't make changes, she would likely develop full-blown diabetes and heart disease within a few years. Linda was scared. She didn't want to end up on multiple medications or become another statistic. She decided to completely overhaul her diet and lifestyle. One of the changes Linda made was adding chia seeds to her daily routine. Every morning, she made chia seed pudding by soaking 2 tablespoons of chia seeds in almond milk overnight. In the morning, she'd add berries, a drizzle of honey, and some crushed walnuts. Linda also started walking 45 minutes every day, eating more vegetables and whole grains, and cutting back on processed foods and sugar. After 6 months, Linda went back to her doctor. Her doctor was amazed at her transformation. Linda had lost 25 pounds. Her blood pressure had dropped from 145/92 to 122/78. Her fasting blood sugar went from 115, which is the pre-diabetic range, to 92, which is normal. And her cholesterol levels had improved dramatically. Her LDL dropped by 30 points and her triglycerides dropped by 50 points. Linda's doctor told her that she no longer met the criteria for metabolic syndrome. She had essentially reversed the condition through diet and lifestyle changes. Today, Linda is 66 and healthier than she was at 56. She continues to eat chia seeds every day, along with maintaining her other healthy habits. She's convinced that chia seeds played a key role in her transformation. Now, here's how to use chia seeds safely and effectively. As I mentioned earlier, always soak chia seeds before eating them. Here are some delicious ways to incorporate chia seeds into your diet. Number 1, chia pudding. Soak 2 tablespoons of chia seeds in 1/2 cup of milk, dairy or plant-based, overnight. In the morning, add fruit, nuts, honey, or cinnamon. Number 2, smoothies. Add 1 tablespoon of chia seeds to your smoothie. Let it sit for a few minutes before drinking so the seeds can start to gel. Number 3, oatmeal or yogurt. Sprinkle chia seeds on top of oatmeal or yogurt and let them sit for a few minutes before eating. Number 4, baked goods. You can add chia seeds to muffins, bread, or pancake batter. The heat from baking will soften the seeds. Number 5, chia gel. Make a chia gel by mixing 1/4 cup of chia seeds with 2 cups of water. Let it sit for 30 minutes, stirring occasionally. You can store this gel in the refrigerator and add a spoonful to smoothies, soups, or sauces throughout the week. How much should you eat? Based on the research, 1 to 2 tablespoons, which is 15 to 30 grams of chia seeds per day, is the optimal amount. Start with just 1 tablespoon for the first week to make sure your digestive system adjusts. Chia seeds are very high in fiber, and too much too soon can cause bloating, gas, or diarrhea. Also, make sure you're drinking plenty of water throughout the day, at least 8 glasses. The fiber in chia seeds needs water to work properly. Are there any risks or side effects? Besides the choking hazard from eating dry chia seeds, there are a few other things to be aware of. Digestive issues. Because chia seeds are so high in fiber, eating too much too fast can cause bloating, gas, cramping, or diarrhea. Start small and gradually increase. Blood thinning. Chia seeds contain omega-3 fatty acids, which have mild blood thinning effects. If you are taking blood thinning medications like warfarin or aspirin, talk to your doctor before adding chia seeds to your diet. Blood pressure and blood sugar. Chia seeds can lower blood pressure and blood sugar. If you are on medications for these conditions, monitor your levels closely, as you may need to adjust your medication dosage. Allergies. Chia seed allergies are rare, but they can occur, especially in people who are allergic to sesame or other seeds. Start with a small amount if you have never eaten chia seeds before. Quick recap of chia seeds. Rich in omega-3 fatty acids, fiber, protein, and minerals. Lowers blood pressure by 5 to 6 points. Reduces cholesterol, triglycerides, and inflammation. Protects against obesity-related heart disease. Must be soaked before eating and never eat them dry. Aim for 1 to 2 tablespoons per day. Start small to avoid digestive issues. Drink plenty of water. All right, we've covered the 5 seeds that can clear your arteries and protect your heart: flaxseed, sesame seed, pumpkin seed, black seed, and chia seed. But before we wrap up, I promised I would tell you about the dangerous seeds that millions of seniors are eating right now, thinking they're healthy when they could actually be causing harm. Here are the 3 seeds you should avoid or eat with extreme caution. Dangerous seed number 1, poppy seeds. Poppy seeds might seem harmless. They're commonly used on bagels and muffins, but here's what most people don't know. Poppy seeds come from the opium poppy plant. They contain trace amounts of morphine and codeine. Now, the amount in a bagel is tiny and generally harmless, but if you eat large amounts of poppy seeds, like some people do in certain traditional recipes, you can actually test positive for opioids on a drug test. More concerning, there have been cases of opioid toxicity from drinking poppy seed tea, especially in older adults. Symptoms can include drowsiness, confusion, slowed breathing, and reduced consciousness. If you're taking pain medications or sedatives, poppy seeds can amplify these effects. My advice: avoid poppy seeds entirely if you're over 70 or taking any medications that affect your nervous system. Dangerous seed number 2, salted sunflower seeds. Sunflower seeds themselves are actually quite healthy. They're rich in vitamin E, magnesium, and healthy fats. But here's the problem. Most commercially available sunflower seeds are loaded with salt. A single serving of salted sunflower seeds can contain 200 to 300 milligrams of sodium. And let's be honest, who stops at just 1 serving? If you eat a whole bag, you could be consuming over 1,000 milligrams of sodium in 1 sitting. Excess sodium raises blood pressure, causes fluid retention, and increases strain on your heart and kidneys, exactly the opposite of what we're trying to achieve. If you want to eat sunflower seeds, choose raw, unsalted varieties, and stick to a small handful, about 1/4 cup per day. Dangerous seed number 3, hemp seeds for some people. Hemp seeds are trendy right now, and they do have some nutritional benefits. They're high in protein and omega fatty acids, but there are some concerns, especially for seniors. First, hemp seeds can interact with blood-thinning medications due to their omega-3 content. Second, there's some evidence that large amounts of hemp seeds may affect electrolyte balance, particularly in people with kidney problems. Third, hemp seeds are hairy, calorie-dense, about 180 calories per ounce, so they can contribute to weight gain if you eat too much. If you want to try hemp seeds, start with just 1 tablespoon per day and monitor how you feel. And definitely talk to your doctor first if you're on any medications or have kidney issues. All right, we've covered a lot of ground today. Let me give you a quick recap. The 5 seeds that can clear your arteries and protect your heart are: number 1, flax seeds, 2 tablespoons per day, ground, for omega-3s and lignans. Number 2, sesame seeds, 1 to 4 tablespoons per day for cholesterol and blood pressure. Number 3, pumpkin seeds, 1/4 cup per day for magnesium and heart health. Number 4, black seeds, 1 to 2 teaspoons of oil per day for arterial health. Number 5, chia seeds, 1 to 2 tablespoons per day, always soaked, for fiber and omega-3s. And the 3 seeds to avoid or use with caution. Number 1, poppy seeds due to opioid content. Number 2, salted sunflower seeds because of excess sodium. Number 3, hemp seeds for those on certain medications. The lesson here is simple. Less is more. You don't need expensive medications with dangerous side effects. You don't need complicated treatments. Sometimes the most powerful medicine is sitting right in your kitchen pantry. These 5 seeds have been used for thousands of years in traditional medicine. Now, modern science is proving what ancient healers knew all along, that food can be medicine. But here's the key. You have to actually use this information. Knowledge without action is worthless. So here's what I want you to do. First, go to your local grocery store or health food store this week and buy at least one of these 5 seeds. If you're not sure which one to start with, I recommend flax seeds. They're inexpensive, widely available, and have the most robust research supporting their benefits. Second, start small. Don't try to add all 5 seeds at once. Pick one, use it for a month, and see how you feel. Then add another. Third, track your progress. Write down your blood pressure and cholesterol numbers now. Then check them again in 3 months. You might be amazed at the improvement. Fourth, share this information with someone you love. If you found this video helpful, please share it with your friends and family members who could benefit. Heart disease is the #1 killer of seniors, but it doesn't have to be. Knowledge saves lives. And finally, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. We're building a community of seniors who are taking control of their health naturally. Hit that bell icon so you'll be notified when we post new videos. Thank you for watching. Thank you for taking your health seriously. And remember, it's never too late to start taking care of your heart. I'll see you in the next video. Stay healthy, stay strong, and God bless.